Hey, welcome to 209coach.com. I want to do a video for you coaches out there, you parents, anybody working with players, and this video right here specifically on how to use your lower body and how to use your top hand in order to create tremendous power. Now, if you watch the modern swing, whether it be MLB or top NCAA players, you're going to see this particular move that I'm going to share with you. And if you start to apply this move, I can assure you that your power will increase and you will be able to hit the ball a lot harder, a lot further, therefore more doubles, triples, and home runs. So let's get started here. Now, here we got this NCAA player from Oklahoma, and watch what's going on with the lower body. Just pay attention to the tailbone area. Pay attention to the top hand, okay? Now again, and if you watch any top players in the world, this is what they're going to do. Now watch the tailbone as she starts to go, okay? You can't see the tailbone, of course, but watch that area, watch the top hand. Simultaneously, as she starts to lift her front foot, watch her hips, okay? Watch the tailbone. You can see here it's starting to go towards the pitcher, okay? And watch the top hand. You can see that the top hand, the palm is starting to face downward as she gets into her forward move. Okay, you see that move right there with the tailbone, what's going on? All right, let's watch it. It's very obvious that she's coiling her hips, okay? She's coiling her back leg, coiling into her back leg. The way she's doing it is, again, she's getting her tailbone and she's letting it rotate towards the pitcher. In other words, the tailbone, the back pocket is facing, trying to get it to face towards the pitcher. As she's applying this particular move, the top hand is going pretty much from vertical to facing downward, like she's spilling a cup. I always tell my players, feel like you're spilling a cup. Feel like you're coiling that back leg. Feel like your tailbone is going towards the pitcher. This allows you to coil the back leg, the back hip with tremendous torque so that when you get into your swing, you're going to be able to hit the ball with a lot of power, okay? Now watch what's going on here with Bryce Harper. Okay, same thing. Watch what's going on with his tailbone. You're going to see this with all the best players in the world, whether it be softball, whether it be baseball, it doesn't matter. The best players in the world, they start to rotate their tailbone towards the pitcher, okay, where they're really coiling into that back leg. As they're doing that, the top hand is going to go pretty much from vertical, where it's going to, as they start to get into their toe touch, the top hand will be facing downward, okay? So it's really important to understand that when you're working with a player, that you make sure that you tell them, okay, whether it's a guy or a lady, it does not matter. You want to make sure that the player is really focusing on coiling that back leg. That's going to give the player an opportunity to get a lot of torque again in that back leg. You feel like you're coiling pretty much everything in that back hip, the back leg. Have the tailbone start facing towards the pitcher as you take a stride. At the same time, simultaneously, you go from a vertical bat where the bat is being tilted by the pullback of the top hand. And this, again, is going to allow you to hit like some of these great hitters do in the NCAA softball, in the MLB. Now, you might not hit as far as some of these guys, but you definitely can improve your personal power in order for you to become a much better hitter. So be aware that mechanics do matter. Now watch what's going on here with Alyssa Del Carlo, one of the greatest hitters that ever came out of Georgia softball. Now watch what's going on with her hips, okay? And watch what's going on with her top hand simultaneously as she starts to get into her stride. You're going to see that her hip, her tailbone, is going to start facing towards the pitcher, just like you see in all the great hitters. This is something that a lot of players, a lot of coaches don't pay attention to, but watch what's going on with her back hip. Watch what's going on with her tailbone. And as she gets into her stride, as she gets into her forward move, it's very obvious that she's coiling herself so well into that back hip, that back leg, and as she's doing this, the top hand is working downwards, okay? This is, again, it's going to give you tremendous torque. It's going to give you the opportunity to hit with a lot of power. It's going to give you the opportunity to, again, to hit a lot of doubles, triples, and home runs. And I believe that is the goal of most ball players that are out there, to hit the ball with far more power, to give you the opportunity to help your team more, to help your own stats. And this right here, this technique, you see it with the best players in the world. Now here you have Otani from the MLB, one of the best hitters of modern era of baseball. He can hit, he can pitch, and now watch what he's doing with his swing. Watch his top hand, watch his hips, watch what he does, okay? Pay attention. This is his kind of his style. He kind of sticks his foot out there. That kind of just his own little style, and then from there, as he starts to get into his gather and he starts to transfer his weight now, so as he starts to move his body forward, look at his tailbone. Look what he's doing. Look at the top hand. Top hand's facing downward. Look at the hips. Look how much the hips have rotated. Look how much coil he has in that back leg. The vast majority of his weight, 90% of it, the coil's in the hip, the leg. And this is exactly, again, what I'm trying to share with you with the best players in the world do. Look how much his hips, his tailbone is almost facing directly to the pitcher. Most times what you see with a lot of players, they don't even get close to this. And again, one thing to look at when you get to toe touch, you will see with the best players in the world that their hips are pretty much, or their belt buckle is kind of pointing in this direction like this. This is a very good checkpoint. When you get to toe touch, if your hips are pointing or your belt buckle is pointing down in this direction, not more towards to the left, okay? If you're a lefty, and more to the right if you're a righty, you're going to see that your power is going to increase. Again, implement this move along with the coil of the hip and the pullback where your palm is facing downward. Now here's another Georgia softball player, Lacey Fincher, an amazing hitter. This is from a pitcher's view, a different angle, so you can kind of see what's going on right here, okay? So this is important to understand, again, that the best players in the world, they coil their hips. You can see here, as the ball's being released, pay attention to her tailbone. You can see here, not only is she applying great pullback, and that's evident by, you can see her back even more, but pay attention to the tailbone area. You can see right here that it's starting to face more towards the pitcher. It starts to rotate. That's exactly what you want to do. You want to have the pullback and the coiling of the hip at the same time. Again, this will give you tremendous power. Try this yourself. Grab a bat and try this yourself. I guarantee you're going to feel something different if you're not actually doing this particular move. Here's the same swing, okay, from a different angle. Watch what's going on, how she coils the hips, getting tremendous torque, coiling into that back hip, coiling into the back leg as she's applying the pullback. Watch her back arm work back and behind her as she starts to coil her hip. You can see that there's definitely rotation, clockwise rotation for a right-hander working. The hips are working towards the pitcher as the top hand is pulling back. This allows a hitter to have tremendous torque, tremendous power, so that when you get into your heel plant, as you start to get into your swing, you're going to have so much power. Watch how she's hitting from behind her, okay? In other words, she's not casting her hands in front of her body. She's able, look how the bat stays back this late in the swing. The bat's still back, okay? Look at this, what she's doing here. This is applied by doing or applying the technique I'm sharing with you. Look at the bat. It's still behind her. This is going to allow you to be able to hit the most elite pitchers in the world. And again, this video right here is to help you players, you coaches out there, to teach your players this so that you too can apply the mechanics that the best hitters in the world do. So next time you're watching a softball, or if you're watching a baseball game, I would highly recommend to watch what the best players in the world are doing. Now, they're all going to have particular little styles, and they're all going to have individual ways in which they do things. That's style. But what you will see with the best hitters in the world, watch what's going on here again with this young lady right here. Watch how she gets her hips to start working towards the pitcher right here. How she has so much coil here. You can see that her tailbone right here is facing, going towards the pitcher as she's applying tremendous pullback. Again, this move right here is what the best players in the world do. It's going to allow you to hit behind you, okay, where you're going to be able to get that bat speed behind you, just like the other players I showed you right here. It's going to allow you to just hit with tremendous power, tremendous power. And again, if you apply the techniques that these young players, these ladies are doing, these MLB players are doing, I can show you 20, 30, 40 more swings, and you would be like, it would be repetitious as far as what I'm showing you. But again, if you see the best players in the world, you see the tailbone, it goes towards the pitcher, they're applying the pullback at the same time, they're letting that back leg, back hip coil. Now please give me a like if you learned something, if you enjoyed this video. My videos are here to help you improve. to help you to understand what the best players in the world do so you too can apply what these players are doing. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much.